Good evening and welcome back to Let's Play the Blackwell Convergence. When we left off last time, we found there's definitely a connection between the Countess and the Meltzer Foundation. We made it into Charlie Meltzer's email. He's got, all he has are like, each email is just a list of the names of everyone who's been killed by the Countess so far, and our name showed up. So, whatever, Charlie, bring it on. The Countess showed up. She pulled us into, like, her head is where we're at, her mind space or whatever. Like, it seems akin to the spot that Rosangela has in her head where she helps Ghost move on to the next place. This lady is assuring us that we're not dead, so that's a good thing, I guess. She says that there's a part of the Countess in here that hasn't moved on, and that's why she's still this angry ghost hanging around. So we gotta find a way to ease her on into the next world, and hopefully that'll take care of everything.
Madeline, could I talk to you?
Of course.
So, where are we?
Where are we?
You have been to this plane before. You have brought many lost spirits through here.
Well, yes, but there was never a diner before.
I can understand your confusion, but it is not a real diner. It is metaphorical. As you know, there is a bond between the Countess and her current host, and the bond is represented by this diner. You will find out more inside.
Alright. Yeah, why a diner?
Why is it represented by a diner?
The Countess used to spend lots of time in diners like these. You will find out more inside.
Alright. So how do we break this bond?
This bond, how do I break it?
Part of the Countess is trapped inside. You must find it and remove it.
So I guess I've been assuming that it's gonna be like a spirity looking piece, like something that I can talk to, but maybe like I'm thinking back to the first one, and we just needed the deacon to drop his flask, and then he was okay. So maybe it's an object that we have to find, an object that's particular to the Countess.
This bond.
Part of the Countess...
Oh, same thing. Okay, so how did the bond break? Because I really don't want that to happen to us and Joey.
How did the Countess break the bond between you?
She did not break the bond, but moved it. To be rid of me, she had to form a bond with someone living. Someone who could, in essence, become her guide. How she acquired this knowledge, I do not know. I only know that it was accomplished.
Who did she pass it to?
Joe Gould. It was an easy task, since his mind was already broken. Upon Gould's death, it was passed on to Joseph Mitchell.
Okay.
And now Charlie Meltzer.
Yes, it must be broken if this is to end.
Alright. So that's how Joe Gould figures into it all.
How did the Countess get so...
Insane?
Yes.
Like you, her mind is a door to another plane of existence. By corrupting our bond, she opened that door so wide that it flooded her mind with unfathomable knowledge. She essentially has the universe inside her head, and no human mind can contain that. It broke her. She sees everything but understands nothing. If she didn't banish me to this place between worlds, I might feel more pity.
Ooh. Okay, so there's hope here. The takeaway is, don't mess with our bond with Joey, and things can be alright, right?
Did you know her when she was alive?
Of course. We spent almost 30 years together.
What was she like?
Different. Happier. She loved helping those in need, but it no longer matters. She is the one who needs help now.
Alright.
Thanks, Madeline. I'm going to see what I can do.
I will be waiting right here.
But what drove her to break your bond? She just tired of being stuck with a ghost following her around for 30 years? Alright, in we go.
For the upteenth time, I have no money for your fund.
Show some pity. At least lend us a cigarette.
Ahem, I believe we got company.
Ah.
So that's
Miss,
Joe Gould, right?
Could you perhaps spare a few dollars for the Joe Gould Fund?
Oh, and that's Joseph Mitchell. He's stuck here now? So these poor guys, these people she formed these bonds with, they're trapped here too. Alright, what have we got? Joe Gould.
I'm a long way from home. I don't think those open. Looks like the door to the kitchen.
maybe we'll try it in a minute. First, let's talk to...
That's Joe Gould. I recognize him from the portrait in the Minetta. He's on the elderly side, but his eyes look sharp and alert.
Alright, we'll talk to Joe Gould first.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Joseph Ferdinand Gould. I am graduate of Harvard magna cum difficultate and chairman of the board of Wheel and Woe Incorporated. In exchange for a drink, I'll recite a poem, deliver a lecture, argue a point, or take off my shoes and imitate a seagull. I prefer gin, but beer will do.
I've been hearing a lot about you lately.
My reputation precedes me.
Indeed. Now let's go right from the top.
I saw your portrait in the Minetta.
The Minetta. Yes, I'm quite famous there, you know.
I gathered.
It's all thanks to Mitchell, of course. The Joe Gould Fund filled its coffers nicely when he wrote his article.
So,
What are you doing here?
I don't quite know myself. We've all got to be someplace. As I understand it, I was mentally linked to my old friend, the Countess. I wish I'd known. It explains everything that my work was trying to prove.
what's that about your work?
Your work.
I have had many callings. I studied the seagulls of the world and learned their language.
You know their
I
language.
spent months measuring the heads of 1,000 Chippewa Indians. But before I died, I was putting to paper the most important literary work known to man, the oral history of our time. It was a compilation of the conversations of the city, overheard in bars, subways, street corners, and diners. Put together and studied properly, it would have revolutionized everything.
How so? He knows the language of seagulls.
How would it have revolutionized everything?
We were all connected, every single one of us. But how? Think of the ramifications if we found out.
It sounds like quite an undertaking.
It was my life's work.
You get a lot of points for being very tactful with him, Rosa. I mean, it isn't interesting. I don't know that I could take the guy seriously, but I can see where people would be entertained enough to go ahead and buy him a drink.
How did you know the Countess?
We met in a diner like this one. We'd often spend a week or two walking along the docks to discuss seagulls. She had many interesting theories on seagull linguistics. Then, one day, she disappeared. But a link had already formed between us. It's everything my oral history was trying to prove, that we were all linked.
Okay, so do you know anything about how she kind of went crazy and killed people?
The Countess is killing people.
Murder? No, I refuse to believe that. She couldn't hurt a fly.
Well,
Why is she called the Countess?
That's what she chooses to call herself. Far be it for me to tell her otherwise.
The name doesn't seem strange to you?
When you lived a life like mine, you take people at face value. Who cares about names? I once knew another fellow without a name.
Hey.
Called himself the Deacon.
You knew the deacon?
The Deacon? You knew the Deacon.
Oh yes, he was this gloomy career drunk. One summer night while sitting in a doorway of the Bowery, he caught the scent of sulfur. He looked up and saw the devil himself standing over him. Since that night he believed he lost his soul. Not the most charitable drinking companion, if I may say so.
No, he wouldn't be.
You knew him?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Fancy that.
Okay, that's a pretty cool connection. I quite enjoy that. That's a nice touch. Alright.
What's your connection to Joseph Mitchell?
Ah, Mitchell, my benefactor. He made me quite famous, you know. But my goodwill only extends so far.
Why's that?
Why's that?
A cigarette, he has them. He won't give me one. It's demeaning to have to beg for one measly cigarette.
You want a cigarette?
Yes, I want a cigarette. It's a disgrace that I should have to beg for one.
Alright, we'll see if we can get you one.
I'd like to read the oral history.
And I'd like you to, but I'm afraid it belongs to the ages now.
There was also the problem of it never existing in the first place.
Of course it existed, only not on paper.
It's an oral
It was
history.
over
Come
3
on.
million words, 3 times the size of the Holy Bible. The work transcended mere parchment and ink.
What about those essays you published in the Dial?
A passing fancy, nothing more.
You wrote essays?
For the now defunct Dial magazine. I still have the originals. Do you want to see?
Yes.
I'd like to see that essay.
Here you go.
It appears to be an essay about insanity, but the handwriting is so awful I can barely make it out. Just as well. I don't have time to read all this stuff.
Illegible words. Immunity is a topic, or no, insanity. That's what she said it's about. Insanity is a topic of peculiar interest to me. Despite my theory that people with strong willpower and a sense of humor never go off their nuts, I almost have first-hand information about it. There have been times when the black mood falls on me. I needed every bit of self-control that I possessed to refrain from or something my hands in wild gestures that would have brought a curious crowd around me and eventually have landed me in the police station. I could very easily imagine myself locked up as a maniac, yet all the time the real me was not in sympathy with these impulses. It made me feel that perhaps there was a basis or truth in the old idea that insanity was caused by forces external to the soul, such as witchcraft. Science affirmed this once. It may do so again. It seems to me likely that many who are held under observation or in detention are in something this pitiable state. They may be adjudged lunatics because of the unconventional antics of the outer body with which the mind may not be in accord. Something considered absurd. One part of it is that the time.
This handwriting makes my eyes water, but I think it's an essay about insanity.
It is.
I don't think it's important.
But I kind of want to read it anyhow. I mean, well, we mostly got it, but there's more pages than that.
I don't think he'll miss this.
We took his paperclip?
This handwriting, I don't think...
Alright.
Here you go.
Always glad to share.
Okay, we might be about done with him for the moment.
Mr. Gould.
But let's check.
She returns. Say, can you spare a few dollars for the Joe Gould Fund?
I'm afraid I'm a little short.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Alright.
I'll talk to you later.
Sure. Things to do, people to see, I understand.
Alright, Mr. Mitchell?
Hello. You're Joseph Mitchell, aren't you?
I believe you have the better of me, miss.
Oh, this is gonna
Blackwell.
rattle him.
Rosangela Blackwell.
Blackwell.
Blackwell, huh? I might have known.
Oh, he took it better than I thought he would.
You met my auntie.
Your auntie, yes. I do see a slight resemblance. I did warn her to leave well enough alone, but she was determined. Let's hope that you can do some good here.
So, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
We are echoes, leftovers, if you will. We were linked to the Countess when we were alive. When we died, part of ourselves got trapped here.
So you're not a ghost?
Not fully. I'm not sure what I am. I remember living, I remember dying, but I don't feel like Joseph Mitchell. All I know is that when I thought of death, an eternity with Joe Gould was the last thing on my mind.
What is your connection to the Countess?
I don't know. I never met the woman. Joe Gould was the one who knew her. He had a special bond with her, apparently. But somehow, he passed it on to me when he died. Next thing I knew, I was murdering people by writing about them. There was no choice. I had to stop writing.
Sorry about that, buddy. Man, his story really is quite sad.
I studied some of your work in journalism school.
Now that's just foolish. I was a relic, even before I died.
No.
The city I wrote about has long since evolved and changed into something completely different. But that's New York City, isn't it? Wouldn't be New York if it stayed the same year to year.
I'm sorry you had to stop writing.
So am I. But what else could I do? Let innocent people die?
Aw,
No, I don't regret the choice I made. Not for one moment.
he's a good person.
Did you know Charles Meltzer?
Yes, I did. He worked at the New Yorker back in the late 70s. He would come into my office and ask about the old days, and I was happy to tell him. I knew he would never cut it as a reporter, but he had a very keen, analytical mind. I almost forgot all about him, but it appeared a link formed between us, nonetheless. When I died, my connection to the Countess passed on to him.
So,
Charles Meltzer is using the Countess to kill people.
By accident?
No,
No.
on purpose. He sent her after me.
Now, that's a shame. I'm aware that through my actions, I killed a few people.
But you didn't
But I
mean
could forgive myself for it, since I was unaware of what I was doing.
as soon as you figured
but
it out, you
many
stopped.
times I thought to myself, I have a weapon. It's untraceable. Nobody knows about it. I could use it, but I did not. I was tempted, but I did not. Not once. You have to stop Charles. Break this link. Destroy this place. No more innocents should have to die.
And I will, but the bad thing about that is there's nothing we can really do to bring Charles to justice. We can't bring him to a court of law. He was using a ghost to kill people. I mean, come on. Unless Rosa can think of something, we're just gonna have to let it go. Which kind of galls, but...
How do I break this link?
I wish I knew. I'm afraid all this is a bit beyond me.
Well, we'll figure it out, no worries.
Why did you write about Joe Gould?
He's a fascinating man. Intolerable company, but fascinating. He exemplified everything about New York at the time. Its artistic expression, its frustration, its joy and heartbreak. His oral history, or the idea of it, energized the work of dozens of writers and intellectuals. But the more I got to know him, the less I wanted to be around him.
Aw.
Why don't you give him a cigarette?
When you give that man a cigarette or a drink, he likes to talk. And the only subject Joe Gould likes to talk about, at length, is Joe Gould. And the only person for him to talk to is me.
Well, I'm here now.
So, I do not give him a cigarette.
Well, give him a cigarette and I'll talk to him.
Would you give him a cigarette if I spoke to him for you?
I might. If you can get him away from me, I might. But we can't leave this diner, and the door to that kitchen is locked.
Oh, well.
Can't you just float through the wall?
Believe me, I've tried that. It doesn't work. Not here.
Okay, well, let me get to that kitchen.
Thanks for talking, Mr. Mitchell. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Miss Blackwell.
I do happen to have a paperclip in my inventory.
Looks
so.
like the door
Alright, we'll try it the standard way first.
locked.
Locked. Paperclip. Oh, hey.
Easy. What's that noise?
It's that crazy whispering. Whatever it is we need to find. It's somewhere in here.
That oven is closed.
Open it.
That's weird. There's a strange glow coming from inside.
She's in the oven? Oh, it looks like that's the only thing we've got in here too, huh?
There's a strange glow coming from inside.
Touch it.
Hello? Is someone in there?
She comes.
Who are you?
Part of a whole. Left behind.
Ah.
Safe here. Leave me.
Nope.
Are you the Countess?
Countess, one of my names. Yes. I no longer live, but part of me remains. Leave me.
No, I'm not gonna leave you.
I need to take you out of here.
No. Safe here. Warm here. I stay in warm places. Too cold out there.
Well, we're gonna just do it.
My hand goes right through it.
Oh, bummer.
No. Too cold. I will survive here and save fire. Leave me.
Do we need a ghost to pick her up? Let's try it.
Well, see ya. I'm talking to another.
A sound idea. I'm sure it made more sense than most people I know.
Oh, Joe.
So this is the kitchen.
Indeed.
Such a bare and emotionless place. Not even a bottle of ketchup.
Alright, I'm assuming we need to get him a cigarette. Well, let's see if he's got anything
Mr.
to say over
Gould?
here.
She returns. Say,
I'm
fair enough.
Does something about that oven look strange to you?
Nothing about my life has ever made sense. Why should an oven be any different?
Alright.
I'll talk to you later.
Sure.
Okay, let's get you a cigarette. And maybe he can pull that piece out. Alright, I got Joe out of the way for you, Mr. Joseph.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Gould has left the room.
I see. Thank you for that.
Have you reconsidered giving him a cigarette?
I suppose I have been a little hard on the man. Here, I don't smoke anymore anyway. Give him the whole pack.
Oh, hi, that's generous.
The oven in the kitchen is talking.
Is it now?
This doesn't surprise you.
Miss, look where we are.
Fair
I
point.
stopped being surprised ages ago.
Alright, and...
Did you ever read Joe Gould's oral history?
That, it never existed. Or if it did, Mr. Gould never shared it with anyone, which amounts to the same thing.
You know why I never wrote it down. People would have died.
You didn't stop telling people you were writing it, did you?
What could I say? The truth? They would have chucked me in a loony bin.
Okay, anything else?
How
here?
do I break this link?
I wish I knew. I'm afraid all this...
Alright, that's fine.
Thanks for talking, Mr. Mitchell. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Miss Blackwell.
Alright, let's give this fella this whole pack of cigarettes now. There you go.
Joseph Mitchell wanted you to have this.
Ah, nice contribution to the Joe Gould Fund.
Oh, and it's nice and warm, right? So go with him, Light.
Mr. Gould,
She returns. Say,
I'm
very nice.
So,
liking your cigarette?
It's delightful. Here, feel free to join me.
Thanks, but I don't smoke.
You might as well keep it. When a man is rich, he can afford to be generous.
alright. I don't think we want essays from him anymore.
I'll talk to you later.
Sure. Things to do, people to see, I understand.
Alright, so we're gonna try... First, is there anything in the other ovens?
There's nothing in here.
And there's gonna be nothing here either, I'll bet.
There's nothing in here.
Nope, it's all about this one. Okay. Would you care for a cigarette? Oh, this is kind of like when Lauren was fighting the Countess and she burned her with the cigarette. So this is a similar kind of idea. We'll see if it freaks out.
Is this warm enough?
Warmth, safety. The flame will carry me. Thank you.
Warmth and safety in a cigarette.
That sounds ominous.
Indeed. Hey! Glowing cigarette, I like that. Okay. Well, let's head out here. Is Joseph Mitchell gone as well now?
I can't explain it, but I have the feeling that my time in this place is ending.
Yeah, it looks
I'm
like.
breaking the link. It'll all be over soon.
Over. Yes. I can't say that I ever understood any of this, but I do know one thing.
What's that?
Gould was right. We are connected. Every single person on the planet. It's a pattern so complex that we can't even begin to understand it. So don't try to understand it. Gould tried, and he lived a miserable life. Just live, and be happy in living. Anyhow, you best get gone. You got a job to finish.
So, okay, yes, live and be happy in living. Great advice. But I don't think it's really fair to say that Joe Gould's life was miserable. He doesn't seem like a miserable person. It seems like in his way he enjoyed his life.
I don't think I'm a long...
Okay, still the same thing. Well, let's try stepping outside.
This place is starting to fade.
Indeed.
That's good, right? Once this place is gone, the link is gone too. The killing will stop.
This means something to you, the killing.
She killed someone right in front of me.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I want to stop that from happening again.
Imagine that. Genuine heart. Your predecessor was not graced with such compassion.
Predecessor? Do you mean Lauren? My Auntie Lauren?
We should not stay here. This place will soon cease to be. Come.
Auntie Lauren was a compassionate person. She tried to stop the Countess from killing people as well.
It's broken! The bond is broken!
Yep.
I'm free!
Way to go, Red.
My head. I understand everything.
Everything?
I hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was you. But look, whatever happened, it's done. You can't do anything about it now. It's time for you to move on.
No. This should not have happened.
But it did.
He will not kill again.
Who?
Hey! It's about time you got back here.
Is she gonna
What'd
go
you
try to
guys
kill
do?
Charlie?
I did it, Joey. I broke the bond.
Yeah, you broke it all right, and our friend just blew.
She did not enter the white light.
No.
No.
Oh, that is a problem. She has free will and is loose in the world. With the power she has, who knows what damage she can cause.
Great, just great. I don't know who you are, lady, and I don't care. But just leave the spook work to us, okay?
I have little choice in the matter. I am bound to this plane. What happens next is up to you.
Wait!
Let's get out of here.
I'm still kind of rankled by her comment about Auntie Lauren.
Whoa. Little dizzy.
Careful, kid, you've never been under for that long.
At least I'm alive.
Yeah, everything's peachy. There's a killer ghost on the loose, and it's our fault.
But we broke the link. She doesn't have to kill anymore.
You want to tell her that?
Who would she want to kill anyway?
Charlie.
I think she's going to kill Charlie Meltzer.
Oh, him. The guy who wants me dead.
Yeah, ironic as all get out. We'll sort it out later. Let's get going.
Is it terrible that a part of me is like, well, we were talking about, what kind of justice is Charlie going to have to face? This sort of is. I mean, now that she's got her senses back and she knows what's going on, yeah, he was totally using her for a really horrible purpose. I can understand why she'd want to kill him. Kind of surprised Joey cares so much. Well, obviously, we're going to have to... Well, we have to go check it out because we want to finish the game. I almost don't want to stop her, though. I kind of just want to go and make sure that she goes into the light when she's done, but... Well, I think I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to wind the episode down here. As always, please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Come back, and next time we will head over to the Meltzer Foundation. We'll have to see... We'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to have to be... Stop her. I think the story's going to take us that way, but I don't know. I personally am kind of like, well... He has it coming.